All right, I'd like to welcome you to this edition of EMU Today TV. I'm your host, Mark S. Lee. I'm so glad you're able to join us as you do each and every single month. As you know, this is your source of information around the great university, my alma mater, Eastern and Michigan University. So proud to have been doing this now for 9 seasons. It's hard to believe it's 9 seasons. And we just flipped the calendar to November, and we know what that means. So Thanksgiving is right around the corner. Yes, it's hard to believe that Thanksgiving is right around the corner. And we had a major event that's taking place here on the campus of Eastern Michigan. Two very special guests who are joining me. Dr. Connie Rhul-Smith, and she's the Director of Development, International Relations for the university, and also Elizabeth Smith, and she's the Director of Community Wellness and Sustainability. Connie and Beth, thank you very much for joining me for this important conversation.
Welcome.
Thank you for having us.
Well, we're going to start with you, Connie, and really, obviously, we just flipped the calendar to November, and that means Thanksgiving is right around the corner. And I know there's a major event that's taking place campus-wide. I think it's Thankful to Go, Drive-Thru Thanksgiving meals. Kind of give us an overview, give us the historical perspective and an overview of the program, if you will.
Well, this is a program that started in partnership with Chartwell's and a major donor 4 years ago. And at that point in time, it really was not a drive-through. It was more a meal provided at the Commons. And that didn't resonate with the community. The focus of this is community outreach, community support. And so 3 years ago, we then did a small drive-through with a meal at the GameAbove George Gervin Center. And we discovered that people in the community much preferred the being able to drive up and pick up a meal for Thanksgiving. So last year, it was a total drive-through food giveaway. And so this year, we are replicating that. It is a drive-through, and as the flyer says, Thanksgiving to go. We are really proud that it is resonating with the community.
And as you think about it resonating with the community, I'm sure it has grown over the last 2 or 3 years. This is inception. How many meals have you basically given out in terms of going through over the last 3 years?
We actually gave away 540 meals last year, and we have set aside 4 hours for the food distribution. We ran out of food we distributed 540 meals in less than 2 hours last year.
Yeah.
That shows the demand. This year, our goal is to distribute food to 1,000 families.
1,000 families. And Beth, let me come over to you. And we talk about the 1,000 families. Obviously, we're talking here at Eastern Michigan University. Is this the university community? Is it beyond the university? Is it to the community? Talk about the types of families, individuals who are taking advantage of this particular program.
Yeah, absolutely. So we are seeing people right here. A majority of the people are in the Ypsilanti Ann Arbor community, which is great. Some of them are even from our own campus, but it's extending as far wide as we've had people come all the way up from Toledo, from Grand Rapids, from past Jackson. So people are hearing about this giveaway and how we want to take care of the community. And, all are welcomed. And, our goal is to just provide at least one meal kit per car. So that way we can try to touch and then serve as many families in the area as possible. So, if you're within any driving distance that you feel comfortable in, we welcome you to get in line. Again, our goal is to feed 1,000 families and to get you through as quickly as possible through the line.
And when you say meal kit, what does that consist of, the meal kit?
Yeah, sure. So we are going to provide either them with a frozen turkey or a ham. They'll get a pie as well, and then they're going to get a bag of locally sourced fresh produce and a bag of rolls. So we're really excited that not only are we just taking care of like the community members, but we're also taking care of like our local growers as well. So we're going to be sourcing close to, I think we have up to about 15,000 pounds of produce coming, as well as all the hams and pies and turkeys on top of that.
That is awesome. Locally sourced. That is phenomenal.
Yes.
And Connie, I want to come back over to you as we think about this year. And certainly families are always in need. I'm assuming with certainly with things going on around the country, that the need continues to increase in terms of providing these families and the community with these types of resources.
Yes, it does. And just in Washtenaw County alone, and as Beth said, we really don't know for sure where all these individuals who are coming up, driving up to the George Gervin Center to pick food up. We don't know where they come from, and we really, we really don't care. We just want to serve the individuals who feel that the need to drive through and pick up the food. But yes, we are hearing more and more stories of the increased need. And so that is one of the reasons why we decided to strive for a goal of 1,000 families. And Mark, I'd like to really stress the fact that this is all donor funded generated. Without the donors who are supporting this initiative, we would not be able to do any of this.
You know, and that was gonna be my question. And Beth, I'm gonna come back over to you and talk about those donors. How do you in fact receive the information or get the information out to people who want to make a donation for the meal kits? What is the process here?
Yeah, so for if people want to support this initiative, they can visit our website at www.emish.edu/thankful, and there is a link on there where they can make a donation and on the page, and just to donate $50 can provide a full family Thanksgiving dinner for a family of four. And so we really want to encourage this small act of kindness that can contribute back out to the community.
We have the website on the bottom of the screen as you're talking so that people can certainly reference it as well. You know, Connie, this is important because, we're an educational community, right? East Tennessee, we have all types of students. We have a diverse community. We have hardworking people. We have all types of individuals. But this is more important in my context because you're also talking about kids, young people who obviously, I'm not talking about college students, it's about young kids who may not have the opportunity of getting a good home cooked meal for Thanksgiving. Let me turn over to you for a couple of minutes and talk about the importance of helping our young people, particularly our kids within the community as well.
And Mark, you're right. And one of the facts that is so important related to Eastern Michigan University is that it prides itself on being a community engaged university. And this is just one of those additional facts or factors that play into it. But then back to your question, yes, when and I've been fielding calls from individuals already who are asking about this event, this giveaway, and if it's going to happen again this year, and stressing the need for their family. This opportunity is the only opportunity for them to have a full meal for their family on Thanksgiving. So yes, it's back to their children themselves, and providing everyone with something that is almost a given. We think about it as just a natural occurrence, but for many of these families, it's not a natural occurrence. And if they're not receiving help or support, they don't have the same opportunity as others have to sit down to a well-sourced and whole meal to provide to family.
Absolutely. And Beth, as we come over, we have a couple minutes remaining. I just want to make sure I give you the opportunity to give the details, the particulars. When is this going to be held? Where is it going to be held? Give us the time, the location, all the details associated with this year's event.
Yeah, absolutely. So the event takes place on November 20th, and it's going to take place at the George Gervin GameAbove Center in Ypsilanti. And it will begin at 10 a.m. and until essentially the supplies runs out. And one thing I forgot to mention earlier, besides that great package meal that they're going to be receiving, is we're also going to be giving away 4 complimentary vouchers to any future EMU men's or women's basketball game as well this season. So it's really what I would say bringing the community back into EMU, which we're really excited about.
And Connie, I want to give you the last word in terms of this event. I know you obviously both of you are spearheading it. Again, I'm going to give you the final 30 seconds or so to give whatever spiel that you want to give about the importance of this program and anything else you want to close as we close out.
Well, is it okay for me to talk about who our major donors
Absolutely. Absolutely. Please do.
We, Ann Arbor Area Community Foundation, the EMU Credit Union, DTE, President Smith and I have donated significantly to it. And Beth, I'm missing one donor. Who is it?
Marriott.
The Marriott. Yes. the Marriott. And in a couple of cases, and part of the reason why we're able to give, to strive to reach 1,000 families is that we have additional donors this year that we didn't last year. And so we are both very grateful to our donors for providing this assistance to enable us to make this drive-through, thankful drive-through, a resounding success.
Well, let me say congratulations to Connie Rhul-Smith and Beth Smith as well. Hey, by the way, no relation, huh?
No.
Congratulations on a job well done. Congratulations. We thank all the donors for participating. We want to encourage as many people to get out there and participate for the drive-through Thanksgiving meals taking place on November 20th over the George Gervin Center. Please make your way over there. Thank you both for your participation today in EMU Today TV. Appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mark.
Absolutely. And back in October, there was a wellness fair that was held on campus and certainly focused on the health and wellness of our students. I want you to sit back and relax and enjoy the video. And on the other side, we're going to talk about a major event that's coming to Eastern Michigan University. All right, we'll see you shortly.
Today's Wellness Fair is to expose our students to activities, organizations that promote wellness and mental health. We're able to destigmatize the conversation about wellness and mental health, and all of the people that are coming will have activities for students to participate in. Swoop's coming, we have a jazz band. It's as important as taking care of your physical health. We all go to the doctors to get checked up when we don't feel good. I want to encourage folks to think differently about that and to understand that there's a lot of places and a lot of folks who are willing to help. You don't have to wait till you're in crisis to seek help. Seeking counseling and seeing a therapist or other support services just to help manage the daily strains and anxieties of daily life is okay. We all can use a little help from time to time.
All right, welcome back to EMU Today TV. I hope you enjoyed that video for the Wellness Fair, which was held recently, obviously for our students back in October. We're going to continue the conversation with Bud Gibson, and he's the Associate Professor of Digital Marketing and Director of Center for Digital Engagement here at Eastern Michigan University. Bud, thank you very much for joining me. How are you?
I'm great, Mark. How are you?
Doing well, thank you. Thank you for joining me again. It's always a pleasure to talk to you. And we're going to spend some time chatting about digital marketing here at EMU. And let's start there. Let's talk about digital marketing and what you're doing at the university, its impact in terms of education for our students. Digital marketing, how's it being used in the educational sphere for Eastern Michigan University?
Well, right now we at the College of Business, we have a couple of digital marketing courses. One is focused almost exclusively on digital advertising using the Google platform, and students actually work with nonprofit organizations to develop Google Ads accounts with budgets of $10,000 a month. And then we have another course, of course, once I get people to my website using digital advertising, how do I get them to pay me by becoming a customer? So we actually have another course focused on that, and that is analyzing the customer journey that these web visitors take through websites and figuring out how to optimize it. So that those are really our core offerings. We also have a summer internship program that we run where we hire 48 interns each summer to work with 24 high-tech companies. These are paid internships, and those again focus on digital marketing. So, we have an array of options for students.
Yeah, so it seems as this space has continued to evolve and to grow, and we know that the marketplace continues to change in that digital space. Talk about that in terms of how, when the students graduate in this particular degree, how are they doing in the workplace in terms of making that adjustment? How are corporations making the adjustment, moving into that space as well?
Well, I think corporations have over time, and this has taken like a decade or more. They have over time kind of woken up to the importance of digital marketing. Over 50% of marketing spend is digital now. And as you may have noted, I mean, TV channels, old Comcast cable kind of going away in favor of streaming. And then the options you have are all really targeted, much like digital ads are. And so TV suddenly became digital marketing, whereas it used to be, sort of traditional over the air marketing. Things that remain traditional, though, are things like flyers and billboards, even though those have become somewhat digital in the past few years. So there's still a mix of things taking place in the real physical world and then things that are being targeted digitally.
And do you find corporations, is it a challenge for them to now integrate digital marketing to the overall marketing strategy? When we first started teaching years ago, it was a traditional marketing, the 4 Ps and how we would define marketing. But as you see the students going into the corporate life and then looking at it from the corporate perspective, that particular lens, do you find them, is it a challenge for them to integrate digital marketing into the overall strategy?
I think less and less so because this transition has been going on for, closing in on at least 2 decades. And
Hmm.
so what you have now is I think 2 decades ago, you were a pioneer if you were a digital marketer. And today, the people who are, sort of on the way out are the folks who have only been in the traditional space. So you have people to kind of mentor you along, particularly as an entry level person, which is largely what we produce coming out of our program. You have people to mentor you along. And I think one of the things that we have been very gratified to be able to do is we've developed quite an alumni network, both
Mm.
through people who have taken courses, people who have participated in our summer clinic internship program, who are now coming back to mentor students as they go through the summer clinic internship program, and then provide them with those key networking links that lead them to jobs.
That is awesome. And so what I want to do is to segue into a workshop that you do it's been on an ongoing basis. Talk about the digital workshop and how long has it been around? What's the primary objective of it? Kind of give us an overview of that particular program.
Okay, so our whole program has been oriented towards bridging the gap between the university community and the business community. And so the digital marketing workshop is something that we started 15 years ago. It was actually in
Oh, wow.
2011. So this in 2025 will be our 15th running of it. And it's
Congratulations.
designed to bring in the community and connect them up with students. And so we host speakers who talk on topics of relevance. And this year it's Know Your Customer, and subtitled In the Age of AI and Social Media. And we're bringing in a number of speakers and panels to talk about how actual practitioners are using these tools. So we bring practitioners into the conference, and we bring students into the conference, and helping them come up and network with these practitioners.
I got to pause for a second to ask a question. I love what you just said. One of the tools that will be certainly discussed is AI in digital marketing. Can you
Yeah.
just give us a couple of little tidbits? I mean, there's a lot of talk about AI, and certainly how is it impacting digital marketing? What can people expect?
Well, this is the third year that I can think of running this conference where AI has played a critical role. Okay, and I think it's just transformed the marketing landscape. Now, I say that, and the truth of the matter is that this has really been we've been talking about it a lot for the past 3 years. It's been going on for over 20 years.
Mm,
If you think about Google's search engine, that was always AI focused, and they have kind of migrated it to more of a machine learning focus, which means it evolves on its own as people go through and do search results, and as it goes through and crawls the web. And so, what we've seen, though, that I think has really been different in the past 3 years is we've got these large language models that are really good at understanding language and then producing language patterns in response. And so, for instance, if you're running a digital ad campaign right now, you point your digital ad manager at your landing page, the place on the website where you want people to go. And then it will go and take that text and turn it into an ad for you. Now, you have to edit that ad because it can do things like hallucinate, come up with things that are related, but not necessarily stuff that you do. But it's like an incredible time saver. So I think from the point of view of efficiency, AI is having a big impact on doing things like helping people get started with ads, helping people figure out search terms for their website. It's not a set it and forget it kind of thing. You can't just say, AI, go do this, because the AI is not smart like a human. It's basically a pattern matcher. Okay.
mm,
But
mm.
an awful lot of what you do when you're constructing ads and figuring out search terms people are going to use is actually pattern matching. And it can be really helpful with that.
So it's another way of leveraging technology to create more efficiencies for your business, if I'm hearing you correctly there.
I think it's like going from hand tools to power tools.
Yeah.
That's sort of and so with the power tool, you got to be careful because you can accidentally saw off a leg, and the
You don't
same
want to
thing
do
with
that.
AI.
Yeah. So this is fascinating conversation. I'm really enjoying this. And let's take it back to a digital workshop. So talk about give me a little bit more details in terms of when is it going to be? I understand there's a special deal for Friends of EMU as well. Talk about the particulars of the workshop, when is it going to be, special deals that you have for people attending as well.
Okay, so the workshop is going to be Friday, November 21st from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the EMU Student Center. We do have a special deal running through November 14th, so that's a week from this coming Friday. And it's for 50% off. So the normal ticket price is $70. We chop that in two. Now, there are fees that get added to that for the payment processing. So it's not exactly $35. It's a little bit more. And we'll be running that through Friday, November 14th. And let me talk about the agenda a little bit because I think we've got some exciting panels and a keynote speaker. So our keynote speaker is named Derek Janis, and he worked. One of the main things he's done two things. He worked for GM in their last mile electrical vehicle division as their CMO, and he grew that into a $1 billion business. And he has since left GM and is part of a startup focused on financial services. He's the CMO there. And the name of that startup is AcquireUp. And he's going to be talking about how knowing your customer can help you drive revenues. So sort of the techniques he uses and the very practical benefits. Then we're going to go over into a panel led by Jarrell McCree of Pinterest and populated by people from Google, Ford, and Career Now brands, many of whom are alums, and Jarrell is an alum. And that's going to be focusing on how performance marketers, so a performance marketer can get to know their customers. Now, a performance marketer is somebody who really uses marketing to drive sales. That's what the performance part means. And so there's going to be a team of those folks, some of whom work with small businesses, some of whom work with large businesses, talking about the tools that you can use as a practitioner to get to know your customers and create more effective pathways for them to, interact with you more and buy more from you. We're going to have a networking break in the middle. And then for a half an hour, then we're going to come back to our sports marketing panel, which is entitled Connecting with Sports Fans Through Storytelling.
Awesome.
That is going to include the Pistons, the Tigers, and the Red Wings. And we're going to have the social media director for the Pistons, social media director for the Tigers, pardon me, senior producer for the Pistons, and the director of digital media for the Tigers. And that should be very exciting.
But what I'm going to do is we're running up against the clock. If you could briefly just send people to the website again so they can see the rest of the agenda and give us one more time, the remaining 45 seconds or so. Again, the date, the time, the location, and the website so that people can go to it and where they can register. That would be awesome.
Okay, so the date is November 21st. It runs from 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. at the EMU Student Center. The website, just scan the QR code that's coming up on the screen, will get you to our Eventbrite page where we have all of this information, all of the information about the speakers. And I think that's about it. Does that answer? I think that answers your question.
Absolutely. And Bud Gibson, I want to thank you very much for joining me for this edition of EMU Today TV. Congratulations for this ongoing program, the success of it. And we wish you much continued success this year as well. Thanks for joining me.
Thanks so much, Mark.
And for all of you, thank you for tuning in to this month's edition of EMU Today TV. Happy Thanksgiving to all of you. And we will check you out next time on EMU Today TV.